It was the kind of moment that can tilt a season in seconds. Sophie Cunningham drove hard, took contact under the rim, and went down clutching her knee. The arena froze. Then another image hijacked the night. Cameras found Bria Hartley on the sideline, smiling in the aftermath. To Fever fans, it looked cruel. To others, it read as nothing more than a tense sideline exchange caught at the worst possible time. The clip traveled faster than any medical update, and the argument wrote itself. Was this bad luck at high speed? Or a reckless play punctuated by a tone-deaf reaction? The diagnosis arrived with the weight everyone feared, a torn MCL season over. One twist at full speed ended months of work and ripped a hole in Indiana's rotation. Cunningham's box scores never told her whole story. She supplied the glue plays, late closeouts, corner threes that swing a quarter, cuts that keep weak side defenders honest, charges that flip momentum. Remove that, and the geometry of Indiana's offense changes. Coaches suddenly have to rewire sets that rely on her spacing and motor. Teammates feel the gap during simple actions. The hit-ahead pass that used to find a streaking wing is now a beat late. The baseline cut that once scared a defense into staying home becomes a stunt toward the ball. Beyond tactics, there's the gut punch to a locker room that leans on her energy. For Cunningham, the season she built through effort ended in a single painful sequence. For the Fever, the path forward narrowed and the discourse shifted from the injury itself to who she collided with and what the cameras showed next. This wasn't a routine bump. Cunningham caught on the wing, lowered her shoulder, and attacked before help could get set. Hartley slid across to cut off the angle. Two players met at the exact point where speed and balance decide everything. Cunningham's lead foot landed, her inside knee shouldered torque. A nudge redirected the joint mid-turn, and the body folded the way bodies do when physics wins. From one angle, the defense looked textbook. Rotation on time, arms vertical, chest square. From another, the slide appeared late, the body drifting into the lane line and crowding the space a driver needs to gather without exposing a knee. That's the heart of the argument. Did Hartley establish early enough, or did the half-step drift transform a hard contest into a hazardous one? Slow motion cleans the lines, real speed blurs them. Officials saw a bang-bang collision and let the game breathe. No upgrade, no lengthy huddle. The whistle didn't alter what everyone had already seen. A player down, teammates kneeling, a building holding its breath. If the moment had ended there, most would have called it a brutal basketball accident. It didn't end there. As trainers circled Cunningham, the broadcast cut to Hartley. Some say a laugh flashed across her face. The clip lasted seconds. The outrage lasted all night. Nuance evaporates at viral speed. Maybe Hartley was reacting to something unrelated. Maybe it was nervous energy. Maybe timing betrayed a harmless exchange. But online, still frames become evidence and body language becomes intent. Two camps formed instantly. One saw a dirty hit, followed by a heartless reaction and demanded punishment. The other saw a chaotic bench moment frozen mid-conversation and insisted people were reading intent into pixels. The fury tapped into an unwritten code. Players can compete, foul hard, and talk, but when someone is hurt, there's an expectation of acknowledgement, a look, a nod, any hint of concern. People didn't see that here, and perception took over. By the end of the night, the laugh wasn't just a clip, it was a symbol that framed how fans judged the play, the player, and the league's response. If the clip lit the match, family poured on gasoline. Within hours, Cunningham's sister posted raw messages calling out safety standards and officiating consistency. It wasn't a polished statement. It was protective and direct, and it gave frustrated fans a voice. Relatives can say what players often can't. They don't tiptoe around fines or politics. They speak from the gut, and followers rally around that honesty. Replies filled with slow-mos and annotated frames. Some demanded a suspension. Others asked for a clear review and a public explanation. The conversation widened from one collision to a pattern people think they've seen. High-impact injuries with unclear thresholds for deterrence. The pressure traveled from timelines to studio sets to the league office. Phrases like precedent and player safety took center stage. And for the next opponent without a heartbeat player. Then the most important voice stepped in and changed the temperature. Cunningham asked everyone to cool it. No harassment, no character trials. She called the contact a basketball play and refused to turn pain into a vendetta. That stance did two things. It showed leadership and it complicated the narrative. Fans wanted a tidy verdict: villain, victim, punishment. But Sophie spoke in the language of players who live at game speed. Angles close late, bodies collide, honestly, intent and impact don't always match. Her season ends either way. There's strength in that restraint. It shields her locker room from a week-long storm, keeps teammates focused on the next game, and prevents a rival from becoming the face of a crime she may not have committed. It also relocates the conversation from a split-second expression to the bigger questions. Landing space at the rim, late slides, and enforcement standards clear enough to deter dangerous collisions before they end seasons. Forgiveness doesn't rebuild a rotation, but it does aim outrage toward policy, not punishment. Fans will process in their own time. The schedule won't wait. The basketball doesn't pause. Once the MRI confirmed the tear, Indiana had to translate a human blow into a rotation plan. Coaches combed through actions that rely on Cunningham's spacing and toughness. That corner pin down used to buy a momentum three. Now it's a different shooter with a different gravity. Those baseline cuts that kept weak side defenders honest. Opponents stunt harder at the ball because the kickout feels less threatening. One missing piece reshapes matchups. Without Sophie's physicality on the wing, defenses switch more freely, shrink lanes, and nudge drivers off spots. Guards feel it first. Every drive takes an extra dribble, and every pass needs a tighter window. Bigs feel it when post reads no longer trigger automatic flares or skip outs. The turnover tax rises. Front offices don't get time to mourn. They make calls, a hardship signing, like Shea Pettyby's competent, someone who knows how to steady a possession and organize spacing, but there's no pretending it replaces a tone setter. Minutes stretch across players built for different things. Some step up, some press. That's how a season tests belief. Practices start quieter. A joke breaks the tension. A shooter catches heat. The room breathes. The next game arrives. And the edge this group carries becomes simple. Play sharper, protect each other, and turn a bad break into resolve. When injury and virality collide, the conversation lands at the league's doorstep. The ask is straightforward to say and hard to implement. Protect players without softening competition. Definitions help. Late slides at the rim blur the line between help defense and dangerous contact. If a driver has already gathered, a drifting body can steal balance and, with it, a season. Make that a point of emphasis. Treat crowding at driving lanes, landing space with the same seriousness used to protect jump shooters. Clarify the red line so players know where the danger starts before bodies meet in midair. Process matters too. Post-game reviews exist, but fans rarely understand them. Publish quicker, clearer notes on significant rulings, angles considered, thresholds not met, reasons and action wasn't elevated. Transparency cools temperature. Sideline optics can't be legislated, but awareness can be coached. Benches live on camera. A stray grin at the wrong beat becomes a verdict in 6 seconds. That isn't policing personality, it's understanding the stage. Above all, consistency builds credibility. If identical contact draws different outcomes across nights, trust erodes and behavior skews. Players either get tentative or reckless, guessing what standard will show up. That's why this flashpoint won't fade on its own. It isn't about a single laugh or a single fall. It's about standards sturdy enough to survive the next hard game. Strip away the noise and you find the tension baked into elite sport. The same instinct that sends a guard through a closing gap can wreck a knee when timing slips by inches. The same swagger that electrifies a bench can look callous when a camera lands on the wrong second. That friction is part of the price of playing fast with everything at stake. For Cunningham, this becomes a chapter in a career defined by effort. Rehab in quiet gyms, rebuilding rhythm, returning with the same edge that made her valuable in the first place. For Hartley, fair or not, this moment will trail her for a while. Some crowds will boo, some will move on. Performance and time will reshape perceptions more than any statement. For Indiana, identity gets tested. You don't replace a heartbeat, you redistribute it. Someone has to own the tough possessions Sophie used to settle. Someone has to make the first charge that tells the bench they're fine. Those answers decide whether this is a slide or a rally. For the league, the picture is reputation, popularity is surging, attendance, attention, debate. With growth comes scrutiny. Handle flashpoints with clarity and you bank trust. Wave them off and you draft the next controversy in advance. Moments like this don't have to become morality plays. They can become instruction about contact, space, and respect. If standards keep up with the speed of the game, intent and impact rarely line up cleanly at full speed. Cunningham made a hard drive, Hartley tried to stop it, and a misread angle ended a season. The post-play clip turned a painful accident into a lightning rod. But it didn't change the cost. Indiana lost a heartbeat player, and the league's conversation about protection, consistency, and respect roared back to center stage. Cunningham chose grace. She refused to turn a split second into a grudge match. That doesn't fill the minutes she leaves behind or the film the Fever must rewrite, but it does aim the outrage where it can matter, toward clearer rules and steadier enforcement. For Hartley, reputation will be shaped by time and play. For the league, this is another chance to set lines strong enough to protect the players who give the game its fire. The question isn't whether emotions ran hot. They always will. The question is what changes once they cool, how Indiana adapts, how players calibrate, and how the standard tightens the gap between hard and hazardous. Where do you draw the line? Tough play or reckless risk? Should late slides and landing space collisions at the rim be reviewed with the same urgency as jump shooter space? And was the laugh a misunderstanding or a problem the league should address? Drop your take below. If you want straight talk on the W, hit like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. This is Central Hoops, breaking down the plays, the policies, and the pressure points every week.